All right. So already we're gonna see an issue here, right? You're playing MEI. Very brawly, very important on, you know, isolating the enemy team and having your team basically fight with the number advantage, correct? Well, the issue here is you're playing MEI with a Widowmaker, who's long distance and going to poke a bunch, a Zen, who's long distance is going to poke a bunch, an Ana, who's long distance and is going to poke a bunch, and a Ball, who's never really there because he's going to be rolling in and out of the fight, right? So your issue here already is just MEI's not going to be good to synergize with this comp. Now, I'm not saying that you can't play MEI, but I'm sure there's a better hero in this comp, right? But yeah, so MEI's not going to really fit in on this because MEI's not really going to fit in with this. It's just going to be rough for you to really get what you need to get going. But we're going to try it anyways, you know? We're a MEI enthusiast, so let's see what MEI's got. I'm rooting for you. Let's see some big walls, some big headshots, and some big MEI plays. Okay, so we're poking. Poking's good. No issues with poking. We like the poke. The wall's fine, but again, you have no team that's going to be able to help with the wall. So it's almost like, why do you want to use the wall? Okay. Oh. Very, very close. I did like that. Oh, and your Widow's just popping. Now, your wall there, I probably would have just not used yet. Because I would like to see you maybe wall here when it's getting closer to actually capping, so you can force the enemy off of it. I don't think we needed a wall up either. You know, you 1 point, so I would have just pressured here and maybe cut off the enemy more or less. Especially this Illari that's coming out to help the Ball. Rather than trying to get fancy with it, use a wall to get yourself to this high ground, which... You know the enemy's not going to want to play on this high ground anymore. They want to go to the next point, which is right here. So instead of you trying to make your way here to pressure the enemy out, just make your way to the next point, and if the enemy's coming back this way to point, like, you'll be here to stop him anyway. Especially with how mobile Ball is, like, you're probably not chasing him if he chooses to go, like, farther, you know, towards your spawn. Nice. And again, you probably would have been able to use a wall to at least stop the Ball from getting out from there, too, after he got slept. If you managed to use it in time before the Lifeweaver gripped him. Okay. Nice headshot. It looks like your team's just rolling. Okay. I mean, it definitely took you way too long to realize you guys were winning that point, and you should have just, like, kept moving forward and advancing. Because right now, that rotation that you're doing is very slow, and because of that, your team is basically fighting without you in this battle. It is okay to wall and stop the enemy from coming towards you if you're feeling you're getting too much pressure as well. You don't have to wall off behind the enemy every time, because even though I'm 50 health, I don't want to trap myself in a room 50 health against a full health Reaper. I'd rather cut off the Reaper from me, have the Reaper go focus on someone else. When he goes to focus on someone else, I'll drop wall and fight him. Or Reaper wastes his time trying to chase me, and while he's wasting his time trying to chase me, which I'm already kind of like not going to do much anyways this fight, at least my team is doing something somewhere else. Pressure. So I don't know if you're aware of this either, but Snowball's line of sight based. So you throwing Snowball here is not bad, but if the Reaper was like standing here, he wouldn't have gotten frozen, right? If anyone's standing here, they're not getting frozen. So just be wary that because Snowball's line of sight based, you have to be throwing it in places that the enemy's not going to be able to just line of sight Snowball. So you can actually get them with the ult. Another fun fact, a Sombra ultimate, EMP, actually cancels a MEI ultimate, which is something I didn't know until Fitzy used that in a comp game with me. So I kind of threw on that end, but, you know, it's all good. Yeah, so you guys got to get out. Cool. At least we recognize the fight's going south, and we need to group up. So I like that we're recognizing, we're aware of the team fight and where we have to go. This is pretty good stuff. Pretty smart. Ooh. Yeah, same thing here. If I'm getting pressured from the enemy, like from this Ashe up here, maybe I just wall right here. I know it's not really gonna cut someone off, but it's gonna stop the Ashe from shooting you, so you only have to worry about the Reaper, which is going to confirm a kill on the Reaper, and it's going to save your life, right? We don't do any of that, so the Ashe is able to take 2 shots on us, and then ball slams in to confirm the killing. We used an ultimate here, but we have to be wary of what abilities other people have. So we didn't necessarily know if Reaper had Wraith or not. Turns out he did, so he didn't get frozen. And we weren't in the middle of shooting ball, so he didn't get frozen. Because if you are primary firing with MEI to, you know, shoot that ice beam, if you're doing that on someone that's in your ultimate, you're going to freeze them faster. So make sure you're doing that actively when you decide to use something, especially against someone like Ball, who you definitely want to freeze in your ult. Okay, so it looks like we're down 2, and I guess you just want to fight this because you want something. Primary fire is not the way to go. It's not going to really burst down a Ashe if you're trying to assassinate the Ashe real quick. You're going to want to right-click her and try to get 2 right-clicks so that you can finish her, but that doesn't happen, so now we're stuck here. You could have waited the full amount. There's really no reason for you to want to do this any quicker. I don't know why you did it so quick, because you using, like, opening this up quick is just going to make you slow, and you have 2 people distracted, which means that hopefully your ball is going to be able to stall longer because there's only 3 people on him. This just looks like, yeah, your team's, so this is kind of like a downhill where you guys staggered, but I don't know why you're playing where you are. Why are we choosing to go here? What is this going to do? You're just sitting on point. Basically idle, and you don't really want to be just sitting on point, especially not if you're playing someone like a damage hero. If you're playing someone like Reinhardt, or, you know, like a tank, it's okay to sit on point, because that's like kind of what the tank does, more or less, when a fight's going to happen. But yeah, based off where you're at, you probably shouldn't be here. Where should you be? This is kind of an option where we have to identify where the fight's taking place. Where's the fight taking place, okay? You have a brig all the way up here. You have, you know, your team here, you and Cassidy, low ground, and you have a ball. So, personally, with 5 seconds till the point happens, I don't think anything is going to be happening up here. So we shouldn't be playing up here at all, right? The fight is probably going to happen here. And if the fight's going to happen right at this location and you're like an arm's length away, you're probably going to be in the wrong spot. So I probably would actually end up myself like here, so that I actually am going to be able to wall off effectively, you know, from range, poking people down. Maybe I'll get aggressive and close, but basically where you're at, 3, 2, 1, you know, brig overextends, can't do anything about the brig. You pressure up here, waste a wall. But like I said, the fight's probably going to happen here. So you're already choosing to have a bad location based off of me thinking the thing's going to happen on point, right? And because we're kind of just sitting on point, they all teleport to point, and we die here. Now, if you're playing up here, you wouldn't have gotten hit by any of that. Now, I'm not saying, like, you're going to win the fight just because you're playing up here, but at least you're going to avoid a bunch of ultimates. You're going to avoid a bunch of unnecessary boops and unnecessary shots. from just where you're playing down here. And you're going to be able to poke out the enemy a lot more, and you don't have to be right next to the enemy to wall them. You can wall from a distance. It's okay to wall from a distance, chat, especially when you're not playing a brawl comp. Your comp's very not heavy brawl, so you shouldn't be playing right into the enemy. Otherwise, you're just going to be forcing out your wall, you're going to be forcing out your ice block, and you're going to be an easy kill. Same thing, we just lost that objective, so where do we want to be? My guess is you're going to be like playing here, but I wouldn't want to play here either, because you don't need to be sitting back on this point. You have plenty of cover here, you have this high ground space up here. You don't have to be playing so aggressive into the enemy, you just don't, and you're playing right on point. Point doesn't open for 20 seconds. Take the 20 seconds to get yourself to a decent position, so you're going to actually be able to help out this fight. Because where you're at right here, this isn't really going to help out too much. You know, you basically forced out your wall, and you forced out your ice block, which means you have no abilities for yourself, which means that you are praying that your teammates are going to somehow save you in your situation. You don't want to be relying on your teammates so much, chat, because randoms in Overwatch, you can't necessarily trust them. So you got to do everything kind of on your own and be a little bit selfish for yourself, so you're not trusting your teammates so much. And us, you know, overextending like this and causing ourselves to use this, we're praying that our teammates are going to save us. And this could have just been avoided if we took that 8 seconds, since we just got engaged, to get ourselves away. Because, yeah, we don't get saved, so we just die. And if you're dead, chat, you're not going to be able to carry. We're, you know, 33 from ultimate, so we could use the ultimate. Or we could build the ultimate maybe and carry that, but yeah, it's just gonna be tough. Don't just walk out and not shoot the minefields. If there's minefields, you should shoot them. In general, you should play further back, yes, especially with the comp you have, right? If you have a Reinhardt, it'd be a little different, but you're playing with, you know, Ball. You were playing with a full poke comp, which I just, you know, I addressed very early on. If you had a Reinhardt, it'd be a little bit different. And if you're playing something more linear of a map, like King's Row or something, it'd be a little different. But with where you're at, you shouldn't be trying to frontline as MEI when you have, like, a Ball on your team or something, you know? Like, it's just not going to work out if that's the case. See, that's a good wall. You've also pressured a little bit too forward. Yeah, I mean, your tank's not even up there, so I don't know why you're pressuring up there so much, you know? In general, chat, you should not play in front of your tank almost ever. If you're playing in front of your tank, you're probably out of position. Or your tank is a sissy. One of the two. But I'm gonna say most of the time your tank's not a sissy, you're playing too forward. Good ultimate. Oh. And then this was more or less just like a hard fight where we're just never grouped up, and so it's gonna be very tough to fight. Try to practice what we know. So try to play, depending on your team comp, a little bit further back. Don't frontline so much so we're getting overextended. You basically need to practice, like, distancing yourself a little bit more, trying to understand where the fight's going to take place, so you're not sitting right on point where it all is going to happen and getting yourself pressured out using all of your abilities at once. If you just back up more, maybe play... MEI doesn't necessarily rely too much on the high ground. But you definitely should not be frontlining and taking a lot of aggression where your tank would be. Otherwise, you're going to be caught out with using your abilities early, and then you're going to be very easy to punish because of that. But yeah. So I hope that stuff helps, and happy climbing.